You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited that you are here because we have got an episode that is going to help you think a little bit differently about your characters so they can become more authentic and you can make sure your next performance is your best performance yet. Before we dive in, I want to extend a personal invitation to you. This July, I am so excited that we are opening the doors to the War Project. This is our summer 10-week method acting module. And this particular module, the War Project, only comes around once every 4 years. And together we are going to be stepping into the lives of real people from history. How exciting! Through research, immersive improvisation, method acting techniques, you are going to build a character from the ground up before spending the final 5 weeks of the module living as them. It is such an incredible module. It's not about learning lines. It's about experiencing what it's like to truly step into someone else's shoes, to experience what it's like creating one of the most truthful characters you have ever played. One that stays with you long after the module's finished. So if you would like to experience this and you would like to audition for this module, you can go and complete an application form at tinyurl.com/10-week method acting. And I've also left the link underneath where you've hit play. Now, today's episode is packed with absolute acting gold, because we are taking a microscopic look at one of the biggest acting mistakes actors make when they are building a character. And it is the reason that so many performances feel fake and so many actors are unsatisfied with the work. I've been coaching actors for coming up to 16 years, and whether someone is a beginner or highly experienced, this mistake shows up time and time again. And it doesn't make the actor feel confident in their work. It doesn't make them feel confident in their craft. It puts doubts in their head. And I want to eradicate those doubts. I want to help you become a better actor because you are more than capable of it. All we need is a few small tweaks. And that is what this episode is all about. So what usually happens is the actor gets the script. Maybe they're playing a villain or a murderer, a sex worker, a corrupt politician, a love rat, a gang leader. And we secretly love these types of roles because they feel juicy, they feel complex, they feel a little bit dangerous and different to our own lives. And they feel like there's something substantial to get our teeth into. So what happens is we read the script, we begin imagining the character, we start hearing their voice, we start seeing the scenes in our head, and we start feeling super excited about the possibilities. And then the rehearsals begin. And all of a sudden, something feels off. And I've experienced this many times myself before I trained in method acting. And what's happening is the character we are imagining in our imagination just isn't showing up in the room. The performance is starting to feel a bit forced. If we are completely honest with ourselves, we can start to fall out of love with the character at the extreme end, or we can slowly start losing our confidence, as I've already said, and the character isn't as enjoyable as we'd imagined it would be. because it's a little mechanical, it's predictable. But we keep going because we know we have to. And deep down, whatever is going on, whether our confidence is getting knocked a little bit or we're feeling frustrated or jaded, we keep going because deep down we love acting and we can't imagine doing anything else for the rest of our lives. And by the way, the fact that you keep going, that perseverance absolutely 1000% deserves recognition, because most people in the world never put themselves in situations where they might fail publicly. Yet actors are doing it all the time. And that's courage. That is bravery. So when you're showing up despite things not feeling good, just remember that you are persevering because you love this. But what's really behind that is that you are a brave and courageous person. Anyway, I've sidetracked a little bit. But when things are feeling this way, when they're feeling forced and fake and like something's not quite clicking, that's where things often start going wrong with the character, because instead of playing a human being, what we're actually doing is we're starting to play an idea. So if we take some of those examples that I shared earlier, a villain becomes angry, scary, threatening, dominating. Or the murderer that we're playing, they become cold. The love rat becomes arrogant. The sex worker becomes seductive. And although these choices can feel very powerful initially, they're usually stereotypes. And the moment we reduce a character to one defining trait, we stop discovering them. We stop discovering who they really are. And audiences can feel it. And if you're in an audition, casting directors can feel it. You can feel it. That's the most important thing. But underneath all of this, it simply does not feel truthful. One of the most important lessons from Stanislavski, if you're familiar with him, is that our job is to hold a mirror up to society. Not a caricature, a mirror to society. And real people are never one thing, ever, 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 ever. The villain has people in their life that they love, adore, cherish, and worship. The criminal has a favourite song. The addict has dreams. The murderer probably believes that they're justified. The bully has got vulnerabilities. The gangster, if you play a gangster, has got moments of tenderness. And the difficult truth for actors is that every character believes on some level that they are the hero of their own story. Every single one. Even the worst people in history had values. They had beliefs. They had people that they cared about. Parts of themselves that they protected. Now, this doesn't excuse their actions, but it does explain their humanity. And humanity is what actors must find. If we take Hitler, for example, many people have got such strong opinions about him, and they are justified, absolutely. I'm not here to say they're wrong. But what people often forget is if you were tasked with playing Hitler, you cannot just play one side of him. You have to uncover that side of him that was a family man, that was a lover, that cared about things. And that can be hard for us to swallow as actors, because we do often see one side of a character and not the full palette. Now, obviously, we're not trying to make bad people look good, but because we are trying to make them real, we have to open up what we know about them, what we find about them. So if you want a real life example, go and watch The Diamond Heist on Netflix. You will notice that the people involved aren't walking around twirling imaginary moustaches and announcing themselves as criminals. They are people at the end of the day. Complicated people, just like me and you. They are people with families, people with children, people with relationships, people with dreams, people with contradictions, just like everyone else. Or if you want an acting example, Go and look at Marlon Brando in The Godfather. This is such a classic film. And what makes his performance extraordinary isn't just that he's constantly playing a gangster or, a mafia mobster. It's that he's actually playing a human being, a father, a husband, a man trying to protect his family. You don't watch him thinking, oh gosh, he's such a convincing villain, wow. You watch him thinking, I know that person. I know that person who loves their pet. I know that person who loves their family. I know that person who's had to make decisions. And that's why his performance remains fascinating decades later, even after his death. Because Brando isn't playing a label, he is playing alive. So here's an exercise, a really simple exercise that I would like you to try. The next time you're building a character, whether it's for an audition, whether it's just for practice in your bedroom, or whether it's for an actual production, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What is the opposite of the obvious? So if your character is aggressive, where are they gentle? If they're controlling, where are they vulnerable? If they're selfish, what do they care about? If they're intimidating, what scares them? Because the answers to those questions are where your most truthful acting lies. And those questions get you out of acting habits that you've built up. Which brings me to the War Project. So in this module, actors play real people from history who worked as codebreakers during the Second World War. Now here's the interesting question. How do you play a codebreaker? You can't, because codebreaker isn't a personality, it's a job. And jobs aren't characters. Human beings are characters. So if we think about codebreakers, some were going to be shy, some would have been funny, some would have been ambitious, some would have been really rebellious, lonely, in love, some struggled with confidence. The list goes on and on and on and on. And the role of playing a codebreaker immediately forces you to think beyond labels and stereotypes and into genuine investigation, which is the most exciting part of our job. So we ask questions like, who was this person? What mattered to them? What frightened them? What did they dream about? What did they need? And when we start asking questions like this is where truthful acting begins. This is how you get your next performance to be your best performance yet. So imagine someone was cast to play you. Yes, you listening right now. Let's be honest, would they capture you by simply saying, she's an actor or he's an actor? Absolutely not, because there is so much more to you than being an actor. What would they get by saying, he's a waiter, she's a teaching assistant, he's a dog walker? Would they find the essence of that character? Absolutely not, because you and everybody else are infinitely more complex than your job title or one big thing about you. So is every character you will ever play. They are complex. And the actor's job isn't to play the obvious. Your job as an actor is to uncover the human being hidden underneath that job title or hidden underneath that big thing about the character. Because that's what audiences connect to. They don't connect to labels, they don't connect to stereotypes, and they certainly do not connect to performances. They connect to people. And I really want you to consider this with the next role you play. Now, if you want to create one of the most truthful characters you've ever played, and you want to experience what it's like to fully immerse yourself in another human being's life, then applications are open for the War Project, and I'm so excited about it. So this particular module begins on Wednesday the 22nd of July. You can go and have a read up on it and find out more at tinyurl.com/10-week method acting. That's tinyurl.com/10-week method acting, or go and hit the link underneath where you've hit play. Thank you for listening. I hope this has got the cogs turning, and go and try that exercise with your next character and let me know what you discover. I'll see you in the next episode.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.